You're very welcome back to the show now. We have been blessed with sunshine for more than a week now, but while temperatures remain very high, it is really important to take care of yourself in this scorching heat, especially your skin. And I'm very happy to be joined now by skin expert Grainne Callahan. She's going to help us stay protected and hydrated. Grainne, it's lovely to see you on the show. Thanks for joining us. And I noticed that you're not sun-tanned or burned in any way, shape or form. You look like you've been really taking care of your own skin.
Oh, there is no sunburn around here. There's no sunburn in this house. That's a rule.
Okay, so let's look at things from this point of view. With COVID happening, a lot of our activities have moved to outdoors. And between that and the sunshine, tell me a little bit about the kind of things we're at risk at.
So the number one risk factor is going to be UV rays, sunburns, sun damage. So if you're going outside and you're not protecting your skin, if you're going outside and you're deliberately tanning your skin, if you're not protecting it knowing you should be, then you're at massive risk for skin cancer, for premature aging, and just generally destroying your skin's health.
And I know that you're not exaggerating about the skin cancer because it's very common in Ireland, isn't it?
Yeah, well, skin cancer is actually the most common cancer in Ireland. There's 13,000 cases every single year. And by 2040, the Irish Cancer Society believes that it's going to double.
Okay, so we really need to be careful, and now is as good a time as any to start. I'm wondering, so people might say, oh, you know, I'm only out in the sun for a couple of minutes, or it's a suntan. At what point is it safe to be out in the sun?
So as a rule, you should be wearing sun protection every single day of the year. So whether it's Halloween or Christmas Day or the 4th of July.
But we would
SPF
never get burnt, for instance, around Halloween or Christmas. So why is it that we need SPF then?
So when you're wearing SPF around Halloween or Christmas, it's more from an aesthetic point of view. You're trying to protect your skin from aging because the UVA rays that age your skin are present all year round. And during the summer, we wear protection to stop ourselves being burned by the sun, and the skin cancer risk is much higher in the summer months.
Okay, so is it fair to say then that any level of tanning on the skin shows that we've let ourselves be exposed to too much sunshine?
Yeah, so a tan is essentially a scar. So if you are going out into the sun to tan your skin, you are damaging it to the point where it has had to physiologically change itself to protect you in the future. So your skin tans itself in order to protect the delicate skin cells that are underneath. So if you have tanned yourself, you have damaged your skin.
That's unreal. I never thought of it in that way. So for people who say, oh, you know, I'm just going to get a bit, okay, obviously pre-COVID, but I'm going to get a base on a sunbed before I go on holidays. How wrong are we going? Now, and we don't want to spook people either, but at the same time, explain where we're going wrong with that.
So getting a base on a sunbed is one of the worst things that you can do for your health. You might as well just light up a cigarette. A sunbed increases your risk of developing skin cancer in your life by 20% overall. And if you do sunbeds on a regular-ish basis, now I don't mean every single year. If you do sunbeds for a few sessions before the age of 35, you can increase your skin cancer risk by 60%.
But people
huge number.
People would say, but sure, I'm only in it for, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know. How could I be damaging myself if I'm only using a sunbed for that long?
So a sunbed actually emits very, very high levels of radiation. So it's about 30 times stronger than the Mediterranean sun. So it's extremely damaging to the skin. But it's your UVB rays, your UVA rays, all of these combined are going to age your skin, turn you into a leather handbag. And then we don't want that, you know.
Yeah.
Botox bill is high enough, you know.
So we need to, I suppose, if we're thinking of ourselves from a vanity perspective, like I would wear SPF on my face probably every day, and I put that down to vanity. I didn't realise I was being protective towards my health as well. So is sun damage reversible? If let's say somebody's gotten burnt a couple of times in their life and they feel that they're sun damaged, like how do we even know if we're sun damaged?
So sun damage is going to manifest itself in a few different ways. So initially, you might see, if you were to get sunburned in the summer, you might see redness and peeling of blisters. Now that's a bad burn. But general sun damage, a little bit too much exposure, kind of over a few years, will manifest itself as fine lines and wrinkles, a leathery kind of a look to the skin, and also pigmentation, so changes in the coloration of your skin. And with regards to these being reversible, there are things that you can do, thankfully. You can use obviously SPF, but you can use high levels of vitamin A to try and repair some of that damage. But your skin is regenerative; it is going to heal a certain amount, but it can't heal all of it. So oftentimes, if I was doing a facial on a client, I will see marks in December. I'll see marks on their shoulders from summer. Or I have a friend who has marks on her shoulders all the time from when she was 17 or 18. She got a bad burn. So sometimes these effects are lasting. They can last a long time.
Okay. Now, there is one thing that will absolutely prevent any and all of these things happening, is that if we are in the shade. Isn't that one of the best things we could do?
Yeah, go to the cinema. Don't be going outside. I'm only joking. No, pop. If you have to be outside, if you want to go to the beach with your kids, like you have to leave. Do you know what I mean? Throw a
Yeah.
hat on, throw a bit of SPF 50 on. Avoid the sun between 12 and 2 or 12 and 3 if you can, and just be clever about it. Just don't be cooking yourself. You see people who put on sunscreen at 8 o'clock in the morning and then they don't reapply it the whole day and they're out all day. So, just make sure you're in the shade if you can be. Wear a hat, wear your SPF. Keep that water intake up as well, because in the hotter weather we do tend to get a little bit more dehydration, which you can see in the skin. Use your hyaluronic acid. Really good time of the year for hyaluronic acid because it's so humid. And increase your use of lightweight moisturizers on the surface of the skin to keep the skin nice and hydrated.
What kind of moisturisers?
Lightweight.
Oh, lightweight moisturisers. Okay. Oh, so you don't want real heavy, greasy ones.
Exactly, yeah. And especially if you've had a little bit too much sun, you don't want to put a heavy moisturizer on top of it because that's occlusive. It'll keep the heat in the skin and you want to let that heat out.
Now, you mentioned something there that if somebody has gotten sunburnt, about some people might put moisturiser on it. Some people would have put maybe a real heavy moisturiser on it, thinking that is good for it. If you have gotten to the stage where you've gotten a bit of a burn, what is the best thing to do?
So, first of all, you want to try and take the heat out of the skin a little bit. And this is something that a lot of people don't really know, but like a cool bath or a cool shower, and even a couple of cool showers, just to really take that heat out, is a really good idea. And then you want to put on a little bit of moisturizer, or even after sun. You can buy after sun everywhere. That's extremely lightweight for that specific reason, to try and let the heat evaporate out of the skin. With a burn, it's a burn. You have to treat it as such. You need to keep it cool. You need to keep it out of sunlight then for the rest of the summer, really, if you've gone to the point of burning your skin.
Right. Something peculiar happened to you recently, that you were bitten by a horsefly. And I remember
Oh,
being bitten by a horsefly years ago. Look at that. Oh my
I
God.
know.
That is unreal. And that's only one horsefly bite, is it?
Yeah, that's one horsefly bite, and it got worse actually than that. I stopped taking pictures, my nerves.
So
I
I
was like,
actually,
oof.
I was Googling about horseflies this morning, and they seem to be drawn to things like horses and but obviously people as well. There's enough of an attraction. Had you scratched the leg off yourself by the time you had taken that picture, or was that just how it
No.
developed?
No, that's literally just how it develops. So, there's lots of horseflies around at the minute, especially if you live near agricultural land, or if you live near forests, or if you live near lakes or streams or rivers. And they do tend to have quite a nasty bite. Now, I'm obviously a little bit allergic to a horsefly bite,
Yeah.
so not everybody is going to have such a severe reaction as that. But people send me pictures like this all the time. So, with your bee stings and your wasp stings, you just apply a little bit of ice, and you'll usually be over it in a day or two. But with a horsefly bite, or if you're allergic to little midgy bites, things like that, you need to essentially take antihistamines and talk to your pharmacist because it
Okay.
can get pretty nasty
And
there.
we don't have mosquitoes in this country, but we do have the midges, and I didn't even realise they bit people.
Oh, they do. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. So I've gotten loads of pictures this week. People are sending me DMs of their little midgy bites. They're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "You've been bitten."
you've been bit. But it sounds like Halloween is
Yeah.
happening early.
Oh,
So your
that-
advice is, see about an antihistamine, talk to your pharmacist, and if it goes a bit wild, like yours looked like it was going a bit wild there, you may need to seek medical attention.
yeah, absolutely. Because what can happen is if you scratch it, you can infect it, and you need see your doctor then at that point.
Yeah.
But lots of ice and things like that is really good.
Oh, that'll bring down the itch, I guess. Now, before we wrap up, I want to know important advice for parents and guardians who have little kids in the sunshine.
Absolutely. So, with regards to the sunshine, anybody under the age of 6 months, you cannot apply SPF to babies under 6 months. And their skin isn't really just able for it yet. So, you need to keep them completely in the shade. And for babies over the age of 6 months, it needs to be an SPF of 50 applied very regularly and a hat. Keep them covered, no running around in nappies. They need to be wearing little long sleeve cotton tops. And if you have children who are suffering from heat rash as well, a regular cool bath is really all you can do until they're 2 years of age. They can't take any antihistamines until the age of 2. And then over 2, then speak to your pharmacist with regards to antihistamines for them. For sun protection itself, you need to look for mineral based SPF because they are least likely to irritate the delicate skin of a child.
Gosh, there's so much there that I was never aware of, and I would have thought that I was pretty sun smart. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us today. Enjoy the rest of the summer. You can get out into the sunshine again now. It was lovely to talk to you.
Thanks a million, Ruth. I'll talk to you soon.